Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and Assalamu alaikum. I am Atiqa Ali, and it is my absolute pleasure to extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to all of you on behalf of the entire Management Association of Pakistan team. Today, we have gathered here for a momentous occasion, the 38 Corporate Excellence Awards ceremony. To commence our proceedings, we will begin with the recitation of the Holy Quran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الرحمن علم القرآن خلق الإنسان علمه البيان الشمس والقمر بحسبان والنجم والشجر يسجدان والسماء رفعها ووضع الميزان ألا تطغوا في الميزان وأقيموا الوزن بالقسط ولا تخسروا الميزان والأرض وضعها للأنام فيها فاكهة والنخل ذات الأكمام والحب ذو العصف والريحان فبأي آلاء ربكما تكذبان
Jazakallah. I would request everyone to please rise for the national anthem. I would like to take this moment to express our sincere gratitude to the esteemed individuals who have graced this event with their presence. First and foremost, our chief guest, the Honorable Minister of Industries, Commerce and Revenue of Sindh, Mr. Yunus Dhaga, who has taken time out from his busy schedule to join us today. Next, I'd like to acknowledge the sitting president of MAP, Mr. Talib Sayyid Kareem, whose dedication and leadership have been instrumental in making this event a reality. We are also privileged to have with us the chairman of the Corporate Excellence Awards, Mr. Amir Jamil Abbasi, whose tireless efforts in organizing this event have been truly commendable. And a heartfelt thanks to all our executive committee members, past presidents of MAP, and all the esteemed members of the organization for this successful ceremony. Last but not the least, I extend a warm welcome to the representatives of the participating companies. Your presence here today is a testament to your commitment to excellence and innovation in the corporate world. The 38 Corporate Excellence Awards would not have been possible without the visionary leadership of all the individuals present here. We are pleased to share the names of the core partners for today's event. Chevron is our platinum partner. Pakistan State Oil, Jubilee Insurance, and Faisal Bank are diamond partners. Habib Metropolitan Bank Limited, Amir S. Chenoy Group, Sikpa Inc. Pakistan Limited, and Oil and Gas Development Company Limited are gold partners. Agro Fertilizers Limited and NBP Funds Management Limited are bronze partners. Schneider Electric and Bank Al Falah Limited are facility partners. And the Institute of Business Management is our academic partner. The Corporate Excellence Awards have long stood as a benchmark for recognizing outstanding achievements in the corporate sector. These awards unite companies from across Pakistan to celebrate management excellence. Now, without further delay, I would like to invite the President of MAP, Mr. Talib Sayyid Kareem, to join us on stage for the welcome address. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Talib Sayyid Kareem.
Our apologies for a slight delay, but I think we are almost on time. Mr. Mohammad Yunus Daga, Minister of Industries and Commerce and Revenue, Government of Sindh, past presidents of MAP, and I see quite a few of them sitting there in front of me, and thank you very much for being here. Excellencies, Consul Generals of Oman and France, distinguished guests, members of the MAP Executive Committee, and MAP members, Assalamu alaikum and good afternoon. It is a pleasure to welcome you to the 38th Annual Corporate Excellence Award Ceremony hosted by the Management Association of Pakistan, and this is, as most of you know, is an annual event. The presence of distinguished leaders from the corporate sector and the business community of Pakistan, along with our esteemed MAP members, presents an opportunity for discussions and deliberations. To steer Pakistan back on the path of prosperity, we must play our part. Our nation has faced numerous trials over the decades, and we possess the intellect, resources, workforce, capital, and industrial technology required to move towards our objectives. These are undoubtedly challenging times for our nation, with the country's economic domain facing the brunt of the instability in the foreign exchange reserves, rising oil prices, and inflation that seems to be accentuated with each passing day. We must join our plans and ideas to confront these challenges and strive for progress and development. However, we do see some progress in some areas. I think the first quarter of this year has shown some positive results, and some curb on smuggling and foreign exchange. Gray market has also, I think, showing some results, and I hope it continues. One of the pressing challenges Pakistan faces today is the shortage of foreign exchange reserves, which is a critical lifeline for our nation's economic stability. This scarcity has profoundly impacted our ability to import essential goods and acquire raw materials. This led to a significant reduction in the overall production output. It hindered the capacity for the industries to function at their optimum levels to meet economic demands. We must work towards strengthening our foreign exchange reserve to ensure the availability of raw materials and facilitate the growth and development of our industries, ultimately leading Pakistan towards a prosperous future. In our interconnected world governed and led by trade, economy, and technology, our companies must establish connections with foreign counterparts operating in similar industries. Indeed, to embrace the future in an era of metaverse and technological innovation is paramount. Companies operating in any domain need to revolutionize their operations by inculcating technology and its wonders for accelerated growth. Artificial intelligence is the new frontier for companies aiming for excellence as scientists and engineers envision a future that will usher us into the next era of the Industrial Revolution. Moreover, corporate culture is another important element that should be in our focus. The set of rules and guiding principles within an organization, including values and beliefs, leadership style, work environment, company traditions, diversity, inclusion, adaptability, and innovation, among others, play a pivotal role. Encouraging a culture of continuous learning imparts discipline, gives room for agility, and promotes resilience. These attributes guide teams to realize their company's vision. Likewise, a culture of technological excellence must be embraced by the management given the ever evolving technological landscape. The bright future of Pakistan depends on how professionals conduct their strategic and operational duties. MAP has been at the forefront of nurturing professionals, equipping them with the knowledge and acumen needed to comprehend the challenges and to address them with efficiency. Since its inception, MAP has demonstrated its commitment to industry-specific approaches. It has been organizing workshops and training sessions to facilitate professionals with practical knowledge to create an environment of learning and development. MAP's journey during the last 59 years has been remarkable. Annual conventions and corporate excellence awards, alongside seminars, conferences, workshops, and training sessions organized by MAP, have benefited thousands of participants. This allowed MAP to leave a mark on Pakistan's management and corporate sector, to connect with hundreds of public and private sector professionals, and to converge them under its banner. The 38 Corporate Excellence Awards stands as a testimony to MAP's enduring legacy and its continuous efforts to elevate Pakistan's corporate landscape. Internationally, MAP has intensified its endeavors through its membership in the regional association AMO. This collaboration fostered new avenues for MAP members, particularly through the Young Managers Program, participating in the annual Asian Management Games. Every company aspires to manage its operation to the best of its abilities. The Corporate Excellence Awards serve as a testament to MAP's forward-looking approach, acknowledging companies that exemplify excellence. To pursue objectivity and transparency in the evaluation process of MAP Corporate Excellence Awards, we have been partnering with FAMCO Associates, a respected consultancy firm. They were ably supported by Mr. Javed Ahmed, who is with IOBM he's an advisor on corporate strategy, and Mr. Noman Siddiqui, conducting the management interviews. And I think some of the executives sitting here who were part of this can vouch for the process that went through which they had to go through. The Corporate Excellence Awards aspire to guide the industry in managing capital and human resource effectively, paving the way for leadership and serving as a beacon for those companies aspiring to achieve the same. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to all of you for joining us today. And mashallah, it's house full, although we still see traffic jam outside the hotel. Especially our esteemed chief guest, Mr. Yunus Daga, for gracing this occasion. And as all of us know that, Mr. Yunus Daga, since when he was a secretary, federal secretary, and other positions, he has always been available to share his thoughts. My sincere appreciation goes out to our sponsors. I think without the sponsors, I think we cannot move forward. This is the 10-member committee, the management committee, are all volunteers. We have our own full-time jobs. So we depend on sponsors and companies like Chevron, Faisal Bank, PSO, and many sponsors that were mentioned, Jubilee Insurance and others. I think we are extremely grateful to them for their continuous support and this type of partnership. And to the Corporate Excellence Subcommittee, Abbasi Saab, I think as mentioned, has been with MAP for Amir Abbasi Saab sitting right there for a long time and has dedicated a lot of his time and efforts towards MAP. And of course, to the MAP Secretariat, I think under the leadership of Sayyid Ali Hassan Naqvi and the team for their tireless efforts in organizing this event. Thank you again for being here, and I wish all of you, the participants, advanced congratulations to the winners who will be announced shortly. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you, Mr. Talib Karim. Now, I would like to extend an invitation to our chief guest, Honorable Minister, Mr. Yunus Daga, to come up on stage and share his valuable insights. Please give a big round of applause.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I must thank Mr. Talib Karim and his team to have selected me for this honor to be here with you all. It is undoubtedly a gathering of the best minds that our country have, or rather one of the best minds, and a very high concentration of grey matter per square feet in this room. So while talking here, I was facilitated by Sayyid Ali Naqvi Sahab here. So he was very kind enough, looking at my busy schedule, he was very kind enough, he said, shall I share some talking points with you? I said, that will be good. So he shared very good points, but I forgot in my office. So I tried to, but see, I'm rather than giving any details of or ideas here, I would like to share some of the questions that we keep on asking ourselves. At this very critical juncture of our economic history, that all of us feel that we have to do something now in terms of our policy reforms. So we have to keep asking these questions amongst us, what those reforms should be. We don't have any, I would say, room for any error. So we should better be right this time. What reforms do we require? What reforms must be there? And are we all ready to share the responsibility of moving in that direction? So what I could just jot down here is that we always talk about our economic challenges, the twin deficit that we face. अब मैं उससे निकल चुका हूँ. The twin deficit that we face, the external deficit and the fiscal deficit. What options do we have? Now, at time when we talk, most of the time are, because we have failed in all these years, all these decades, to have an economic plan of our own. We don't have a reform agenda, homemade reform agenda with us. So whenever we go to our international donors, asking them to lend some money, especially the IMF, in the negotiations, we always get a very sorry figure because we don't have our own reform package. So they're, I would say, sorry to say, the mid-level consultants that are sitting across the table, they would tell us that do this, do that, do that. And some of the times, we all feel that these are not good for our economy. Some of the conditions are really harsh, some of the conditions are unnecessary. But then, do we have our plan, a reform agenda of our own? No, we don't have. So that is the first thing that should be done. And with you all people who are holding important positions in private sector mostly, and are in all the time in discussion or negotiations or with the government or with the policymakers, what we are told is that for foreign exchange, only export-led growth is what we should be doing. Now, this is where I tend to disagree. There is no such thing as free trade in the world. Let's come out of it. The entire world is divided into economic blocks, the custom unions, and unless you have a market space there, you cannot think of growing your exports to the phenomenal levels that we always try to dream. जैसे अभी भी हमारे जो कॉमर्स मिनिस्टर्स कहते हैं कि जी मैं इसको 2 साल में $80 अरब पे ले जाऊंगा, बहुत अच्छी बात है, you can take it there, but it's not possible. We don't have that much market access around us. आसियान का अपना एक कस्टम यूनियन है, EU का है, EU में ठीक है थोड़े दिनों के लिए हमारे पास है, and then NAFTA and others. So we have to be very realistic. A dollar saved is as good as dollar earned. The import substitution, efficient import substitution, should be part of our policy. This is what I always say, that export-led growth, yes, it should be the main theme of our growth plan, but it should be fully supplemented with an efficient import substitution. And by efficient import substitution, I mean very few sectors, only very essential sectors such as petrochemicals and steel and others, and for a limited period of time with a very limited protection. So that is, and they should have the task to become globally efficient or globally competitive within a limited period of time. So that is the efficient import substitution that we talk about. Now, then FX, foreign exchange. How the foreign exchange should be, as we say that it should be real effective exchange rate that we talk about, RER. How should that be determined? Should it be determined by, like the last negotiations, I was very disappointed at our team which negotiated with the IMF that it will be determined by the open market. Now we know the open market. The open market is mostly managed by currency smuggler. Let me tell you very clearly, the foreign exchange companies that we have are nothing but the front offices of currency smugglers, Wala Hundi. If we people of Karachi know all about it. So if IMF says that these are the people who are going to fix your exchange rate, then I'm worried. This is not the right thing to do. Our negotiators should have done a better job of this thing. So these are the areas where we should be discussing how we can get it to the best possible way forward. Similarly, fixing of the idea of that we can control inflation by raising our interest rates. Now, all of us know that almost 60% of our economy does not come through banks. And most of the bank loans, 70% of our bank loans go to the government. So there is very little credit that goes to the private sector, and that private sector, informal areas or in the banking sector or which is integrated into our banking sector is very little. So thinking that we can control inflation by raising our interest rates, it has failed. We have seen all these 3 years that we have been raising our interest rates and our inflation is also running ahead. So we'll have to discuss this with our policymakers and make some sense into how we can have. Now, somebody was talking about the governance and the turnaround that we can have. We have got good examples here. As my friend Mr. Ikram said that Fauji Foundation, for example, they have handed over to the private sector people and it has turned around. It has become a better organization. So we can do that with other organizations as well. But let's get rid of most of the SOEs which are becoming problem for us. But whenever we start doing privatization, what we do? We sell the best performing companies and increase our whole in the fiscal side. Rather than, so this sequencing is a big problem for us, that we should be getting rid of the high loss companies first. So while we talk of artificial intelligence in the companies, we should also talk to the government to come to digitization so that ease of doing business or ease of dealing with the government becomes easier for the general public and also for the investors and the businesses. So going forward, I think there is a lot of reform agenda that we should be discussing with the government, with the private sector, and with our international donors, and see what works out good for the country. This is the time that we will be asking these questions rather than giving answers. Nobody should be able to dictate policies. The policies should be homegrown, well discussed, and all the stakeholders should have their input into it. So we at the Government of Sindh, I may say what we are doing, that I am dealing with the land records and land revenues. So we are doing digitization. We are doing all our offices will now be connected through internet, and we are introducing next week. We are introducing mobile apps where people will be getting their services while sitting at their homes. So less number of visits to government offices and lesser the chance of extortion. So this is the first thing that we'll be doing in the next few months, and hopefully before our tenure ends, we will be able to show you some results in our departments. This is what we are trying to do in other departments as well, and we'll try to bring a better image of the public sector. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you, sir. Now, I would request the President MAP, Mr. Talib Sayyid Kareem, Vice President MAP, Mr. Humayun Akhlaq, Honorary Secretary, Mr. Abid Akbar Wazir, Honorary Treasurer, Mr. Farrukh Junaidi, Chairman Corporate Excellence Award Subcommittee, Mr. Amir Jamil Abbasi, Member Corporate Excellence Award Subcommittee, Mr. Khalid Zaman Khan, Executive Committee members, Mr. Zubair Haider, Mr. Sultan Rahman, Ms. Sadia Naveed, and Mr. Hassan Khan, and the Executive Director MAP, Syed Ali Hassan Naqvi, to please join us on stage and present a memento to our chief guest, Mr. Yunus Daga. May I now request the chief guest, Mr. Yunus Daga, to join us on stage and receive his memento. Can we have a big round of applause, please? MAP office bearers to please remain on stage for upcoming award presentation.
Not just the office bearers, the entire executive committee. May I request them all to stay on the stage for the award presentations.
Okay. Now I would like to request the Executive Director MAP, Syed Ali Hassan Naqvi, to take the proceedings further. Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. As my very able colleague Atika pointed out, the proceedings from here on are my responsibility. My name is Ali Hassan Naqvi, and I am associated with the Management Association of Pakistan. So today, I was wondering, so on behalf of Management Association of Pakistan, it is my privilege to welcome you all today to this 38th Corporate Excellence Award ceremony. We'll start the proceedings with the not-for-profit organizations, as they have a slightly different criteria. We don't look into their financials, and we just look at the way they manage their organization. So before we start with the not-for-profit sector, may I invite, in fact, Ms. Sadia Naveed and our former president, Ms. Sadia Naveed, who's the council member, and also Mr. Amir Jamil Abbasi, who's also a former president and presently a council member. They're both retiring this year. So in recognition of their services, they are being offered a memento. So could I request Ms. Sadia Naveed to step forward and receive her memento? As I said earlier, we also have with us Mr. Amir Jamil Abbasi. Amir Saab, could you please receive your memento for your services? KPMG reminds me, Adnan. For a while, so I just thought I'll just park your awards at a safe place. So now we start with the not-for-profit sector. I'm sorry, it's not my evening. So we have two lead interviewers who conducted the management interviews for this Corporate Excellence Award. One of whom is Mr. Javed Ahmed, the other is Mr. Noman Siddiqui of FAMCO. So could I request both the gentlemen to join us on the stage? They did a fabulous job, actually. The companies who went through these interviews would testify that the depth of interviews was quite phenomenal, for which I'm grateful to both these gentlemen. Javed Saab. Noman Siddiqui Saab. Noman Siddiqui Saab is a chartered accountant by profession associated with FAMCO. FAMCO has been part of the Corporate Excellence Award ever since its inception in 1982. So, whereas Mr. Noman Siddiqui, being a chartered accountant, was looking more at the quantitative side, Javed Ahmed Saab, with his expertise in strategic management and strategic planning, that is his forte, was looking more at the qualitative side. So they did a wonderful job. And I know Talib Saab is very punctual about timing, but I'll just steal you for a minute or two, the two of you. Javed Saab, could you please join me here for a second? So, and Noman Saab. Generally, there's a perception that there's a lot of room for improvement as far as capacity building in Pakistani organizations is concerned. You have conducted these interviews very thoroughly, both of you. What is your take on this? Please.
I mean, first of all, Ali Hassan Saab, thank you so much. I feel honored to be here in such a distinguished audience. What is my take on that? I think a lot of organizations in Pakistan are doing an excellent job. And this came out very clearly during this whole process that we went through with, I think, 42 companies. Now, the challenge is, I mean, I can be a little more specific. Will you give me 2 minutes?
Sure.
I think we are very strong, in my perception, we are very strong on matters of compliance. All the companies that Noman Saab and I worked with, I think they came out very strong on compliance. Compliance in corporate governance, compliance with IT regulations, compliance with rules and regulations. So I think that gives us a very good platform and an advantage to launch whatever initiatives we want to launch on. I think we are very strong on many hygiene factors. Compliance being one of those hygiene factors. And now, at the risk of being politically incorrect, do you want me to be candid or politically correct? Candid. Candid, with the permission of the audience and the members? I think we will have to revisit our narrative. I think our narrative is not going to work. More of the same is not going to work. Together with these hygiene factors on which we are very strong, I believe at the corporate level we will have to introduce competitive factors as well. My recent book, which will be published by the end of this month, talks about moving from rhetoric to rigor, as the Honorable Minister also said in his words, and I think I made a note of it here. He talked of export substitutions, competitiveness, and efficiency. Competitiveness and efficiency is a technical science, in my opinion. It will not happen through rhetoric. It will happen through the application of the principles of economics, the principles of marketing, management, and finance. I'm sorry, it is not happen with rhetoric, as much of rhetoric that we may do, as much of patriotism that we may display, as much of nationalism that we may display. It will not happen. It will only happen if we revisit our narrative. And I think in what I observed with Noman Saab and others, that the groundwork is all ready to accept this narrative, to take the next step forward. So I congratulate all the winners, and I hope that next year we will do even better than what you have done here. And I'm very, very proud to be a part of the winners sitting in this room and standing on this stage. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Okay. This was not part of the script, by the way, but I thought, because these two gentlemen were at the forefront of this management interview, this series of management interviews, I thought let's have their opinion about it as well. So now we proceed to the evaluation criteria, just to give you a brief as to how we reached where we have reached. So the first stage is the financial evaluation, which has the weightage of 50 points. There are a total of 412 financial and industrial institutes registered with the stock exchange. So all these are reviewed every year at the end of the financial year. And then we look at the criteria. The criteria is that those companies which have paid at least 30% cumulative dividend in the last 30 years are eligible to qualify for the competition. And then after those companies which have met the financial criteria are shortlisted, which this year incidentally came down to 189 out of 412. These were basically given points, or they were ranked according to their financial performance. Then stage 2 is the management practices appraisal. It has 200 points, for which we conduct a series of interviews. So the management practice appraisal questionnaire was sent to these companies. We received the answers from various companies. A total of 125 companies were approached. For every sector, the top 5 companies were selected. The replies were reviewed and the points were allocated. And then there was a validation of the answers given to us in the questionnaire through a management interview. This year we chose to do it via Zoom. So these companies were interviewed, and as a result, points were given to the companies. We are basically talking about two broad sectors, financial and industrial. Then stage 3 is consolidation of these 200 plus 50 points. These points were tabulated, rankings table was prepared, sector-wise ranks were awarded, and as a result of that, overall rank awarded for corporate excellence trophy to the company receiving highest score, and in each sector or subsector, they were the winners or runners-up. So the final report was reviewed and approved by the MAPS Executive Committee, although they remained neutral throughout. They had no say. They were not part of the jury. So there was an independent jury which gave these points. So let's start with the results. And not-for-profit organization, we start off with the LRBT. I hope we have a representative from LRBT here. So. The second winner is Shaukat Khanam Memorial Cancer Hospital. So now we move to the financial sector. And could I request the Honorable French Consul General Alexis Takhtinsky to join us on the podium, on the stage rather. All right. So the first category is commercial banks. We have a runner-up and a winner in this category. So the runner-up gets the excellence certificate, and it is this year Standard Chartered. We have a winner in this category, which is award winner is Bank Al Falah. So we now move on to the next segment. Mr. Alexi, I'll just request you to stay for one more category, please. Okay, so we now have life insurance sector, and in this we have a runner-up, which is Jubilee Life Insurance. And we have a winner in this category as well, which is AFU Life. Your Excellency, Mr. Satakhstinsky, thank you very much for your presence. Thank you. All right, we have this next category, which is non-life insurance. And could I invite Honorable Engineer Sami Abdullah, the Consul General of Oman, to join us on stage. So the runner-up in this category is Pakistan Re, or Pakistan Reinsurance Corporation. I can imagine it's a bit of a challenge to navigate through this crowd, but hopefully we'll be joined by the representative. Yeah. And we have a winner, which is Jubilee General Insurance. Incidentally, we have Hassan Khan as our council member, but needless to state, he had no say in this. All right, the next segment is leasing companies. And we have a winner here. That was easy. OLP Financial Services. Excellency, thank you very much for your presence. So now we move on to Mudabas. Could I request Mr. Moeen Foda, our past president, to join us on the stage? So in the Mudaba sector, we have a runners-up, which is first Habib Mudarba. And we have a winner for this category as well, and it is OLP Mudarba. All right, thank you for that, Saab. Thank you very much. Now we move on to the industrial sector. And could I request Sohail Wajahat Saab, our past president, to join us on the stage? The first sector in industrial sectors awards is Textile Composite. And the winner here is Feroz 1888 Mills Limited. जी सोहेल साहब अभी आप स्टेज पे रहिएगा. So the next segment is sugar and allied industry, and we have a winner here as well, which is Al Abbas Sugar Mills Limited. The next sector is cement, and we have a runners-up award in this sector. It is Atex Cement Pakistan Limited. a winner in this category as well, which is Charat. Charat Singh. Thank you for your presence, sir. And before I call out the next sector for the awards, could I request our past president, Mr. Tariq Ikram? Tariq Ikram Saab to join us, please. So the next, sorry, Tariq Saab, aye. So the next sector is power generation and distribution, and we have a fairly straightforward winner here, which is HUPCO. All right, the next segment is oil and gas marketing companies. Again, we have a fairly straightforward winner here. Pakistan State Oil. Thank you. Ikram Saab, thank you very much. All right. Before we move on to the next segment, could I invite the former Federal Minister for Investment and the founder of Nutshell, Mr. Asfar Hassan, on the stage. All right. So we now have oil and gas exploration companies. And in this sector, we have a runners-up, which is Oil and Gas Development Corporation or Company Limited. Zishan Zaidi Saab, he has flown all the way from Islamabad. Thank you very much for joining us here. in this segment as well, which is Murray Petroleum Company Limited. Thank you for joining us in Karachi, Murray Petroleum, Team Murray Petroleum. Thank you. All right, we move on to the next category now, which is engineering. And we have a runners-up here in this category, which is International Industries Limited. Fahad Saab could not make it. And we have a winner here as well, which is International Steels. The next segment is cable and electrical goods, and we have a winner here, which is Pakistan Cables. Thank you, Asfa. Thank you very much for your presence. Before we move on to the next segment, could I invite Mr. Zahid Zaid if he's around? I'm sorry. Zahid Zaid. Yeah. His father's name is Zahid. Ahmed Zahid Zaid. Sorry. Yeah. All right, so we move on to the next segment, which is automobile assembler. Again, we have a fairly straightforward winner, which is Indus Motor Company. All right, the next segment is automobile parts and accessories. We have our runners up here, which is Agri Auto. which is Thal Limited. Thank you, Ahmed Saab. Thank you very much. Now I would like to, before I move on to the next category, I would like to invite one of our former council members who was quite instrumental in the formulation of the management questionnaire that we have today. So could I invite Mr. Hussain Basrai Saab to join us on the stage? Questionnaire that we see today was actually the handiwork of people like Hussain Basrai and his colleagues. Thank you, sir, for doing this pioneering job. So we have the Transport Sector Award now, and it is PICT, Pakistan International Container Terminal. So the next category is fertilizer, and we have a runners up here, which is FFC, 4G fertilizer. For this category, which is Angro fertilizer. Thank you, Basrai Saab. Thank you. For the next category, I would like to invite our former executive director, who painstakingly worked for the past 11 years and made these awards achieve the stature they have achieved, Mr. Salahuddin. So the next category is pharmaceuticals, and the runners-up in this category is High Noon Laboratories. believe they were supposed to join us from Lahore. I don't know if they have been able to do it or not, but it seems nobody is coming up to the stage, so we will just dispatch their certificate to them. All right. So there is a winner in this segment, which is Abbott. The next sector is chemical, which has a runners-up and a winner as well. So the runner-up here is, I'm sorry, this is Arkroma. I'm so sorry. This is only a winner, which is Arkroma Pakistan. There's no runner-up here in this category. For the next category, could I invite the senior partner? Is it senior partner yet? Or Mr. Adnan Rizvi of KPMG. Senior partner elect, KPMG. Senior partner elect, actually. Yeah, he'll be. Okay. So paper and board. So there's a runners-up in this category, which is Century Papers and Board Mills Limited. Okay, the winner in this category is Security Papers Limited. Next category is food and personal care products, and we have a winner here, which is Colgate. Colgate Palmolive, Pakistan. you, Adnan. Now, the next stage is the financial category trophy winner and the industrial category trophy winner, for which I would like to invite the banking ombudsman, Mr. Sirajuddin Aziz Sahab, to join us on the stage, please. So now we move to the Amir S. Chinoy. We have the financial category first. So there were basically 3 contestants, Mizan Bank, EFU Life, and Jubilee General Insurance. And the winner of the overall financial category trophy is Mizan Bank. So now we move on to the final item of the agenda today, which is the industrial category trophy contestants. There were 3 contestants: Lucky Cement, PSO, and Colgate Palmolive. And the winner for the Amir S. Chinoy trophy is Lucky Cement. So before we break off for tea, I wish to thank you all, and could I request the winners of today's awards and the runner-up certificates and the trophy to please join us on stage for a group photograph with the chief guest. If you can all come and join us. I know it's going to be. Thank you. Siraj Saab, you stay here, please, sir. Ji, the rest of you can join us for tea. No, sir, the executive committee will remain here. Sir, the entire executive committee will stay here. Those of you who wish to avail this opportunity to have a cup of tea, please proceed next door. Could I request the past presidents, Sohail Wajahat Saab, Tariq Ikram Saab, Moin Foda Saab, to join us as well.